Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about deck building and how to deck build and not just copy-paste decks, and what's going on. And then we're also going to be showcasing a little bit of the deck as well, because I just wanted to sort of show this concept out to people so that, you know, it gets people thinking. You know, it's about making people think about the game and how to best optimize yourself and increase your chances of winning. This is the deck in question. It is a generic pirate aggro list, right? It's got Misfortune, it's got Gangplank, it's got Zap Sprayfin, Decimate, Fervor, you know, all the, you know, a bunch of 1-drops, you know, all the things that are pretty usual about these kind of lists. But if you go onto Mobalytics and look at a list from there, there are some key differences. And this is what I wanted to start talking about in the first part of the video, and then there will be some gameplay later. So let's look at a Mobalytics list, shall we? So here is your pretty typical, if you pull up Mobalytics and look for this deck, you will find it. It is a pretty typical list, but you can see from my list there are some changes. Notably, this list is only running 12 1-drops. It is running double up. It is running 3 Make It Rains. All of these things are not in my list, and this is the kind of concept that I want to showcase to you, because if we go back to my list, what have I changed? What have I done to make it different? Well, I've added 2 Precious Pets, so we're running even more 1-drops as well, and I've got 3 House Spiders in here. I've cut a Grenadier, I have no Make It Rain, and I have no double up. So those are the things that I've replaced. I've added in a bunch of spiders, if you will, and taken out some of the more burn aspects of the deck. Now, why have I done that? What is the reason for that? And why should you not just take, you know, Mobalytics' word for it that that's the best list? Well, Mobalytics is always outdated. The way I've always seen Mobalytics is the lists on there are always the best lists, generally speaking. If, you know, you would just be in a vacuum, you know, what is the best list in a complete vacuum? There is no meta that you are trying to respond to. You're just in, you know, this complete bubble. And that's generally how Mobalytics decks play out, unless there is something that is really warping the meta completely. That's how it tends to be. And so that, I think, is what's gone on now. Because you see, the current metagame that we are in is kind of unlike pretty much any metagame that I can really remember, where there is no reactivity. Pretty much the top meta decks at the moment are playing for their own win condition, and they're just going to play for it. And, you know, they're just going to keep going and keep going until they find their things. Cards like, if we go into Shurima, Rite of Calling, you know, this is a card that's like at an all-time high, because this represents what the meta is doing very much so. You know, it's a 0-mana card that gives me a nice, like, a chance to go off with my combo. This is the kind of card that is doing pretty well right now, because that's a lot of the decks that are being played. Because of Sivir and Spell Shield and Ruin Runner and its Spell Shield, and, you know, all these combos with Flurry of Fists and, you know, just a bunch of cards like that, you know, that try to kill you in one turn. Akshan as well with Lee Sin or anything like that. You know, all of those decks are predicated in, I'm just going to set up on about turn 5, and then I'm going to smack you in the face for lethal. That's kind of how the game is built right now. And so the problem is, for going for things like double up, for instance, if we look at the spell double up, it should be down here somewhere, if I get rid of the Shurima in particular. Here, you have to kill an enemy. Now, killing an enemy at the moment isn't easy, because there's a lot of combat tricks going about right now. Whether, you know, with the new twin disciplines, that's just insane. There's a lot of Ionia running about. Of course, Shurima as well. You know, those two are by far, I think, the most popular regions right now. And Shurima, of course, has both the Absolver and Shapestone. So, you know, you're taking a risk by running this card in this current metagame, because essentially you're probably not going to be able to kill that many units, reliably speaking. So double up doesn't really fit. And if we look at some of the other things that we've got, like Make It Rain isn't really doing that much either, to be honest. You know, there isn't many, you know, decks that are, aside from maybe a mirror match, that are going, you know, turn 1 a play, turn 2 a 1-drop, you know, turn 1 you play a 1-drop, turn 2 you play 2 1-drops. There aren't many decks doing that at the moment, aside from maybe Pirate Aggro. So Make It Rain's value as well, like, you know, you're going to, pop like a Ruin Runner spell shield, and then you still don't have a way of dealing with Ruin Runner anyway in this deck. So it doesn't really make that much sense. You want to essentially use this deck as a way of running down your opponent like they do, but you're just trying to do it a bit quicker than them. So I think going in for your complete own game plan of saying, I'm going to smack you in the face quicker than you can smack me in the face, is your ideal. And a great way of doing that right now, because a lot of decks are going in for, whether it's Lee Sin or whether it's Sivir Action, you know, whatever Zed, they all try and go like with one unit killing you. You know, they try and get one unit really big. I'm going to smack you in the face for like, you know, 15 or whatever with this one unit. That's what they're doing. So one way you can counter that is by going really, really wide on them. And they can't block everything that you have. And, you know, they're going to struggle and they're going to find themselves on very low life before they even know it. And this is the kind of key concept that I think is important. Yes, is Pirate Aggro pretty good right now? Yeah, but you have to build it in the correct way and respond to the meta. Respond to the decks that you're seeing. If you play, you know, on a certain day and all you see is Lee Sin action, think what can beat that? You know, what's important for them? How do I beat that? I have to beat them before they get their combo off. So, you know, you can't really play too much slower unless, you know, you go like really hard control. But even that, like I would say, is pretty useless right now with all the spell shield going around. So forget playing reactive. You know, you got to think, I've got to beat them before they beat me. Okay, Eye of the Dragon is a problem. How do I deal with that? How am I going to deal with that? And go from there. And that is essentially, I think, how you can, you know, go about building decks or even just tweaking decks. I think that that's the thing. If you want to play a good deck, then fine. Go on to Mobalytics, you know, look for the good decks. But think about, is this deck really, you know, tweaked correctly for what I'm seeing a lot of at the moment? Because that is how you will more likely rank up. And also you get the, you know, excitement of being able to deck build. You're not just copy pasting. You are getting, you know, the thrill of having to think about the game and think about, well, what cards will work against this? What cards are bad against this? A card like Precious Pet, you know, if you think about something like Eye of the Dragonlings can't block Precious Pet. So that, you know, so Precious Pet is going up in terms of value, you know, anytime you come up against an Eye of the Dragon who also can't block it herself. So, you know, these little tiny things, you know, they all coalesce and they all come together. And yeah, I just wanted to share this, and then I'll show you some games now as well. So enjoy it, and I will see you tomorrow with more Legends of Runeterra content. You know, there aren't many decks where it like really, really matters, but that is one. Now, I could probably keep Gangplank this time. I mean, it's a curve, right? I'm not gonna say no to it. It is something. House Spider is always nice in those matchups, which we didn't see either. Parlay. Or is this Warning Shot to go for Butcher? No, it's Parlay. What can you do? How do you know? Running against Parlay. Now I know they have Make It Rain, but Parlay? Like, you know. Are they gonna have Parlay? They could Make It Rain here. A play Croaker. Let's block. Not get too precious with our units here. We could probably go for this into that, I think. Perhaps best. Crowd favorite. Get that off. Powder Monkey. Okay, well this is a nice attack. He has to block. I'm on 13. My friends, though. Play the Ballista, I think. I don't want to give him a good Make It Rain yet. I could play you. Is this just too good? I think you're just too good. Because he can't play his Gangplank, and that's kind of what's important. Doesn't have Monster Harpoon either. Well, he does actually. He can one shot and do it. Hopefully he got like a Decimate or something useless. You're going to get a new dog? Crazy days. That's an exciting day. To get a new dog. Must be crazy from the dog's perspective. Like, they have no idea what's going on, but like, you know that you're about to just adopt a dog. No point in like killing this.
Take it up with my friends.
The noise this makes. He's only got 1 mana, so he probably can't do that much. He's down on 8 already. But I'm assuming we should be good here. Is that what he got from me? I think it is, right? Which is perfectly fine. Another zap now. Okay. This makes my play pretty easy. I'm just gonna further this. I mean, I'll block this with this. I need to take that extra damage, but... yeah, get him down on 4. How many? Yeah, you're on 4 or 5, so you can double warning shot me here. But that should be game anyway. Let's see if that's what he goes for. No, it takes the damage, so now we have multiple outs. That goes for warning shot. How's the stream going? Well, Vapandris, I think it's going pretty well. We're playing a version of Burn that I will explain to people. Shouldn't be a way he can beat that. There we go. This is basically a did they get Scourge matchup. So I think I'm just going to keep all the fervors I can. And Zap is a fervor essentially, so I'm going to keep Zap as well. Because we just have to stop, whether it's Mass Mother or Scourge or whatever, we have to just stop them from being able to hit us with that. Now we thought about something and then didn't play it. I don't know what that would even be, to be honest. I'll try and go wide on him here. If he doesn't have anything, then that's, you know, quite a bit of damage. If he just plays Scourge, I might not need to worry about that. Yeah, okay. We'll just pass along. No need to do anything weird. Probably play you. Like, we like having the spell mana. The spell mana is fine for us. You know, we don't mind having it. He does play a Scourge. Could have Death Mark. I could pass. I will. And now he's just wasted like the best card he has. I can even block Viego. He's also quite funny. Honestly, I'm gonna go in for the kill here. Shouldn't really be much he can do. That's lethal. Bird's Refuge. So I would keep these in there. And a deny. Okay. Fair enough. My man. Play. Although, how much is he on? 4? Really? 4? Okay. We'll make sure we draw another fervor. SGP. Could win us the game. Okay, he just surrenders.